Okay, members, you're welcome. This is Spirit Medical Academy, and we shall be beginning a series of lectures in embryology. Today we shall talk about the introductory aspect of this subject. I'm Oscar A. Matthews. As always, please subscribe, like, and share with your friends. So when we talk about embryology, we are talking about a science that deals with the development and growth of an individual within the uterus, which is the female genital tract. Embryology begins with the fertilization of the ovum, and it ends with the birth of the baby. The whole period of development from fertilization to birth is termed as the prenatal development. However, the development of an individual continues even after birth, up to the stage of about 25 years, and that period after birth to about 25 years in which an individual continues to grow and develop in different aspects is called the postnatal development. Specifically, when we talk about the prenatal development, that is the development stage from fertilization up to birth, it begins with a single cell called the zygote or the fertilized ovum, and it ends at around 9 months, that is about 38 weeks or 266 days, with a complex organism called the newborn or the baby. And this newborn is made up of billions of cells. And this process of growth during prenatal development involves a number of processes or changes termed as morphogenesis. And during morphogenesis, a lot of changes take place. These changes include cell division, transformation and specialization, migration, and even programmed cell death or apoptosis. And during morphogenesis, environmental or genetic factors may affect the normal growth of the baby. And when this happens, there is congenital anomalies that come in. The prenatal period is subdivided into different periods. Clinicians divide prenatal period in different ways compared to embryologists. Clinically, the prenatal period is divided into two parts: the embryonic period and the fetal period. So the embryonic period extends from fertilization to the end of the 8th week, and the developing organism around this period is called an embryo. And the embryonic period is subdivided into the pre-embryonic period and then the embryonic period proper. So those are the subdivisions of the embryonic period. Then the fetal period extends from the beginning of the 9th week or the end of the 8th week until a child is born. Embryologically, the prenatal period is divided into about three parts: the pre-embryonic period, the embryonic period, and then the fetal period. The preembryonic period extends from conception to the end of the second week of intrauterine life. The changes or events that take place during this period include fertilization of the ovum, then the transportation of the fertilized ovum, that is the zygote, through the uterine tube or the fallopian tubes, cleavage or cell divisions that take place in the fertilized ovum, implantation of the ovum or the fertilized product onto the uterine wall, and then formation of primordial embryonic tissues. They all take place during the pre-embryonic period. The embryonic period extends from the beginning of the third week to the end of the 8th week of intrauterine life. And the morphogenic events during this period include the differentiation of the germ layers that was formed during the preembryonic period into specific body organs. The formation of placenta, umbilical cord, and extraembryonic membranes also take place during this embryonic period. The fetal period extends from the beginning of the 9th week to birth. And during this period, there is just tremendous growth and specialization of the body structures that was already formed during the preembryonic and embryonic periods. Events occurring in these periods have been summarized in this chart. So when we look at the prenatal development, which is subdivided into the pre-embryonic period, the embryonic period, and then the fetal period. During the pre-embryonic period, we said fertilization, cleavage, implantation, and formation of the germ layers take place. And this period begins from conception to the end of the second week. The embryonic period, however, is a period during which the placenta, the umbilical cord, and the extraembryonic membranes form, and also differentiation of germ layers into specific body organs. So these germ layers that was formed during the pre-embryonic period differentiates into specific body organs during the embryonic period. And the embryonic period begins from the 3rd week to the end of the 8th week. After that, we enter the fetal period, which begins from the 9th week to birth. And during this period, the changes that take place specifically is just growth and specialization of the body structures. So whatever we have looked at earlier is the prenatal development. However, we said that after birth, development doesn't cease. It continues in an individual to about 25 years of age. So the postnatal period is divided into different parts, about 5 parts. We have infancy, which is basically the first year of life, childhood, which starts from the 2nd year to the 12th year. Then we have puberty, which begins from 13 years old to when an individual is 16 years old. Then the individual enters adolescence, which begins from around 17 to 18 years, after which an individual, of course, enters into adulthood from 19 to 25 years of age. So when we look at infancy specifically, infancy period extends from birth to 1 year. The first 4 weeks of this period are very critical for the survival of the newborn, because the transition of the newborn from intrauterine life to extrauterine existence requires many changes to take place, especially in vital systems like the cardiovascular system and the respiratory system. During this period of infancy, there is a rapid growth of the body, and this period is called the neonatal period. And the newborn during this period is termed as the neonate. The term perinatal period is also commonly used. You'll come across the term perinatal period. That term is used by clinicians to describe the period from 28th week of pregnancy to the end of the 6th day after birth. The childhood period extends from the beginning of the second year to when the individual is 12 years. As the child grows during this time, the rate of growth slows down. However, just before puberty, the growth accelerates, and this time at which the growth accelerates is termed as prepubertal growth spurt. Looking at the puberty, which is a period from 12 to 15 years in females and about 13 to 16 years in males, is a period in which there is development of sex characteristics. And during this period, a very rapid physical growth and development of secondary sexual characteristics happen, and the capability of sexual reproduction is attained. The growth at puberty is dependent upon the interaction of the growth hormone insulin-like growth factor 1 and sex steroids. Sex steroids include the gonadocorticoids and gonadosteroids like progesterone, androgens, and estrogen. Adolescence, on the other hand, is the period that extends from 17 years to 18 years. This period is characterized by rapid physical growth and sexual maturation. The gonads, that is the reproductive glands and sex glands, begin to secrete testosterone and estrogen during this period of adolescence. And this period is marked by the ability to reproduce. After the adolescence, an individual enters adulthood. The term adultus is a Latin term which means grown up. And adulthood extends, we said, from 19 years to 25 years. And during this period of adulthood, an individual reaches his or her full growth and development. So after that, an individual stops growing in size and so forth. So this marks the introductory part of our lectures in embryology. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe, share, like, and write your comments in the comment section below. God bless you.